Flosstube friends, it's Christy, the Crosshatch Quilter. I'm here back today on Saturday, April 3rd. Can you believe it? I can't believe it's April already. For Flosstube number 13, and I'm here to talk to you about my stitching today. I'm in a new location today. It's actually Saturday, and I don't normally film on Saturdays, which means the neighborhood kids are out and they're playing and giggling and having all sorts of fun. So I usually film in my sewing room, which is in the front room. And I didn't want that to be too big of a distraction. However, you'll probably hear Gus making noise, and so it's just, you know, a gamble. But I'm in my family room today, and this is my patriotic wall that is inspired by Brenda, the sampler stitcher from the Flosstube channel, Brenda and the Serial Starter. I love her wall so much, so this is my version, and I love to sit here in my family room and look at it while I'm stitching and watching TV with my family. And right when I was starting to film, I noticed that these two candlesticks, one is higher than the other, so that's gonna bug me, but we'll move on. You're gonna see me put my glasses on and off today. I can't wear contacts, and so I'm gonna have to have my glasses on to be able to read, but I don't want them on the whole time in case of the glare. So I'm actually going to be getting cataract surgery and LASIK corrective surgery here this week. So that's why I can't have my contacts in. And I'm really looking forward to it. I'm a little nervous, but mostly super excited, and hopefully I'll have bionic eyes that can see 56 count linen after this, right? That's my hope anyway. So I'm here to talk to you about my stitching today. I've got some haul, some whips, some starts, some project bags, plans, happy mail, and a giveaway. I first wanted to give a shout out to some of my friends that have recently joined Flosstube that I'm so excited about. Betsy Klager, she is on Instagram and Flosstube under Betsy Klager, and she used to have a Flosstube channel and then hadn't filmed for quite a while, so she started a new one, and she is hilarious. Her and her cat Hamilton are so fun to watch, and they make me laugh and giggle. And Betsy stitches samplers, which, you know, are my heart, so she is a really fun one to watch. My next friend that joined Flosstube is Chrissy, who is finally a farm girl here on Flosstube and on Instagram. We have been friends forever, probably I'd say at least 5 or 6 years. And so when she joined Instagram or Flosstube, I was so excited, and she does a great job. She's so fun to watch, and she just did a Flosstube this last week with her daughter and got to show some of the projects that are more Halloween themed, and then Chrissy stitches samplers and prim. It is so much fun. I'm so glad that she joined in on Flosstube. And this shirt is from her. She sent it to me this last week, and I was so excited. I love it. I couldn't wait to wear it. So that is so much fun. Thank you, Chrissy. I have some other fun happy mail that she sent that I'll be showing later on. And then my next one is my friend Devin, who is Hoops and Needles here on Flosstube. She is in Florida, and she's Devin FL on Instagram. And she stitches a wide variety of samplers, prairie schoolers, holiday stitching, and I always enjoy her Flosstubes and get excited when she posts them. So go check my friends out if you haven't already. I'm sure you have. So let's get on to whips. I have quite a bit that I have touched in the last month. The first one that I wanted to show you, and you're gonna have to be patient with me, I've got a whole new setup today, so I really hope I don't nudge the camera. But I started this because of Lori Holt. She does a red alphabet sampler each day, 1 or 2 strands of floss before she moves on to her project for the day. So I thought that was a wonderful idea. So this is my 30-minute a day stitch, or just the first thing I do. And this is Little Redwork Pinkeep by Stacy Nash. And I'm using the called for linen and the floss is Cayenne by Weeks Dye Works. The linen is 36 count Beach Brew. And here is my progress so far. So hoping that next time I'll have a finish on this to show you. And I just love it so much. I have been collecting red alphabet samplers like a madwoman ever since I started this one, and so I have a whole bunch that I'm excited to get working on. Okay, so then my next one, I'm gonna have to put my glasses on, is Anniversaries of the Heart. And this one I am so proud of because I was #mature and did a lot of over one stitching on it. Here is the whole thing. And the blocks that I worked on this month. Is I finished the March block, which I am dedicating to my stepson Dylan, and I did all of that over one on it. It took me a couple days, but I can honestly say I'm not scared of over one anymore. It is definitely time consuming. I don't stitch it in hand. I stitch it in a hoop, the stab method, but that way I can get it accomplished. And then I moved on. So this block, his birthday is not in March, but this block reminds me of him, and I'll explain a little bit later on during my giveaway why this block reminds me of my stepson. But it is such a sentimental block, so he had to have block March. And then this next one is April, and I haven't done the over one stitching in it yet, but all the other stitching is done. Oh, I love those colors. I stitched everything with the called for threads. They don't necessarily always look like the photo on the chart, but I still love them. I'm dedicating this block to my mom and dad, so I still need to do the over one stitching, and then I'll put mine and my sister's initials somewhere in there along the way. But here is the whole entire sampler. So my next block that I'm going to work on, I'm actually going to drop down to here, and I've got all my floss pulled for it. I pull floss each month so that I keep everything together on a great big huge giant ring. But here's the flosses for this month, and here's my thread bling from Socks for Mom, Becky. And well, it's hard to see in the flossaway bags. But the next block is Moonlight Visitor. So I'm going to get started on that very soon now that it's April. I really enjoy stitching this. It is on 36 count Old Town Blend by R&R Reproductions Fabrics, and I stitch it 1/2. And I get a lot of questions about that on videos. A lot of people ask, are you stitching it 1/1 or 1/2? I stitch mainly on 36 count linen, and I always stitch 1/2, which is 1 strand of floss over 2 linen threads. So, and then the 1/1 was where all this wording was. So I hope that makes sense. I love this project. I can't wait to get it done. Okay, so then my next project that I worked on was Morison, and this is by Hands Across the Sea, and it is a stitch along with traditional stitches to celebrate their 20 years in business, I believe. So this month we had to stitch down to the red alphabet and to that red and green divider. So I finished that. And I'm stitching this with the called for linen 37 count with the Au Ver A Soie silks. And I did not iron all my linens today, I'm sorry. But I love this sew along, stitch along. I always say sew along because I sew as well. I love this stitch along. Lori and I started this together late in January, but I believe that we're both caught up now. And I'm anxious to start this month. I have quite a few monthly stitch alongs that I've really been enjoying. All right, so the next sampler that I worked on was Rachael Howells. And I first bought this because I saw it on Carol the Saltbox Stitcher's channel. And she had stitched it because of Brenda the Sampler Stitcher. And they're two of my stitching idols, so I had to get this. And since then, whenever my daughter has seen it, she always says, "Mom, that's my favorite." So I am stitching this for my daughter. When I'm working on it, I tease her that this is her inheritance. But here is where I got to. So I finished the border from the top to the bottom. So now I have my bones in on the left side. And then I got done, well, I'm almost done stitching the bird. That bird took forever to stitch. I don't know why. I don't know what it is about it, but I'm still not quite done with him. But that was a lot of solid stitching, which is my jam. I love solid stitching. It is so much fun with the sewing method. So, and this is one that I hope to get done. I'm planning on getting done this year. Okay, so then my next one is Cross Stitch Nation, and this is a sal that Lori Holt started on her birthday, and all of us have joined in. I really love this. I haven't gotten to stitch on it a whole bunch because I've been trying to focus on a couple other pieces, but I'm hoping to play catch up soon and get a couple people all the way done. I'm stitching this on 36 count Wren by Picture This Plus with all the called for threads. So there's my little bit of progress so far. And then I have been watching, and I'm done now, so now I'm all sad, but I've been watching Downton Abbey, and it got me really in the mood to stitch the Equality Sampler by Plum Street Samplers. This is a gift from my friend Brenda, and I love it. In Downton Abbey, if you haven't watched it, it's based in the 1920s, right when women were getting the right to vote. And so they talk about that a lot in the first couple series. So as I was at nighttime watching my Downton Abbey, and I have to listen to it on my headphones because my husband tells me to go in the other room and watch it. So I just put it on my iPad. So I made quite a bit of progress on this. I got the eagle done and more of the border and strawberries, and then I did a little tiny bit of over one. This has a lot of over one in it. And I'm hoping that this will be released soon. I think it will be this spring or summer. So, and I'm stitching with all the called for threads. And it lives in my patriotic bag that is made with Minnick & Simpson fabrics. There's that. So there's that. And that is another one I would love to get done this year. I mean, I want to get them all done, right? But there's certain ones that would be meaningful if I got done this year. So then my next one that I've been working on is a stitch along that I am doing with Adele, who is Smurfette Stitches here on Flosstube and Instagram. And I believe that she is finished with hers. So I've been really giving this a lot of love this last week and a half, and I plan on getting this finished in the next week and a half. So there's my progress so far. I've got a little bit of unpicking left to do. I'll like stitch a little bit and then I'll unpick a little bit. But I love this. It's with being stitched with the called for threads on 36 count Heartland, I believe, which is the called for. This might be Wren actually on this side. So Adele, I will get it finished in the next couple of weeks so that it can make the long journey across the pond to you. And I really enjoyed getting to know you this last year, and stitching it for a friend. It just has made it even that much more meaningful. Okay, so speaking of stitching with friends, I went to Salt Lake for a doctor's appointment for my eyes last week. And when Lori found out that I was coming, we made a stitchy date, a play date to get together. And we had been talking back and forth about a certain sampler, and we were picking a date as to when to start it. And we wanted to start it in May, but then when the plans changed and I was going to come to Salt Lake to visit, we decided to start it at that time so we can be in person while we started it. So this is An Uffindel by Hands Across the Sea, and I am absolutely obsessed with Hands Across the Sea samplers now. I love Nicola's videos, how she gives the history of the girl, and I love the history that she puts in the front of the chart about the girl. So before I left to go to Salt Lake, I watched her Flosstube that's a couple years old about An Uffindel and her sister Isabella, and she talks about how it reminds her of Eliza Doolittle from My Fair Lady. So I told Lori, when we start this, can we watch My Fair Lady together? And Haley was with me, and she had never seen the movie. So that's what we did. We started our samplers together and watched My Fair Lady. Now I took like 6 linens with me to get a fabric consult from Lori about, and I thought I had decided on the linen that I wanted to use, and I sat down to stitch. We got all started, and about half an hour in, I would look over at her linen and be like, oh, I really, really, really like your linen you're using. And I wasn't happy with the colors. They just weren't popping on the linen. It was kind of just blending in, and I didn't want it to look monotone, or not monotone. I wanted it to be just like the cover photo here. So she let me raid her stash, which it was so much fun, and she was so sweet about it. So without further ado, this linen is Little Sheep by Xjudedesigns, 36 count. And this is a hard one to show since it's so big. I don't think a board will help me, but oh, here, I'll show you the little start first. So there's some flowers, and then I did the entire border this week so that I could get it all to match up. This border is not symmetrical. There are places where the count varies. So to ease my mind, I just thought that I would get that part out of the way. But I am super, super excited about this. I am stitching it with the called for Au Ver A Soie, and they're so yummy. It's a real problem once you start stitching with silk. It's a slippery slope, because now I want to stitch everything with silk. But this one definitely is a very special piece and deserves the Au Ver A Soie silk. And it was an Easter present from my husband, so it just was perfect timing. But I had a lot of fun stitching that with Lori while I was there. Haley and Gus got to come with me and visit, and Gus got to play with her dog and her husband and son, and it was just such a fun time. And then we went to an antique store, and I found a couple treasures, and so did Haley. So it was so much fun, and I'll always remember that piece. I'm so glad that we decided to start it then, a little bit ahead of schedule. We both have quite a few big projects we're working on, so it can be overwhelming at times, but I'm so glad that we chose to do that. Okay, so I just started my my last new start on April 1st, and last time I showed Jessie Watson, my friend, I'm sorry, hold please. My friend Kathleen with Stitching in Costume, she mentioned, hey, we're going to start that on April 1st, me and Barbara, the Raspberry Stitcher, and we're naming the hashtag Jessie Watson Autism Sal. And so I wanted to join in on that. I wasn't planning on starting this right away, but once she told me about that, I said, you know what, I really do want to start that. I think that was a great cause. And so, and I'll put a picture of Jessie Watson right here. This is from Hands Across the Sea, and it's so wrinkly. It's been wadded up in a project bag. But here is my start. I'm stitching it on the 37 count, called for linen. I can't remember the name of it right now. I'll put the information below. And the called for Au Ver A Soie silk. So that's my progress so far. And I'm so excited to stitch along with those ladies. And they both have wonderful Flosstube channels. Go and check them out. So I have Jessie Watson living in this project bag that I made. I just got done making it a couple weeks ago, and I wanted to find something bright and cheerful to put in it. So Jessie Watson was perfect because it has the happy bright colors and it has the house in it. I wanted to make this bag to join in the hashtag project bag along that Elizabeth Ann Can Stitch and Nicola with Bumble Stitches is doing on Instagram. And these are orphan blocks that I've had in my stash for probably 5 or 6 years laying around. And yesterday, Lori did a video showing options of how to use orphan blocks. And I have so many orphan blocks laying around. So if you want to go watch all the possibilities of how to make different projects with orphan blocks, go and watch her video. It is from yesterday, but this is just one idea of what to do with orphan blocks. And we all have orphan blocks laying around, and they're so much fun. They might not ever be used. I've even seen people throw them away or put them in like a sampler quilt. But so these 2 blocks right here are orphan blocks, and this one right here. And then I put a darling zipper pull on it that is by Lori Holt of Be My Bonnet. So that is fun. I will be back next with some haul, happy mail, a giveaway, and my plans. I have some fun plans I wanted to share with you and invite you to join me if you would like. And that is, I'm going to make some more project bags using orphan blocks from Lori Holt's Farm Girl Vintage Books. And the first one is a block that I've had made ever since she did the free tutorial for it on her blog, BeMyBonnet.blogspot.com, and that is the schoolhouse. And so you can get the free instructions on how to make this, and I believe that she is going to do a tutorial on her YouTube channel of how to put this together. It's a free pattern, and she's going to show you how to make it here in a few weeks. So here's mine. I made this when she first released it, and I'm so excited to turn it into a project bag. And the reason why I'm going to put it into a project bag, I was going to put it in a quilt, but I like this idea better. And I'm going to put all of my schoolgirl samplers in it. So Bristol samplers, other red alphabet samplers. So this is a new purchase that I just got from Sassy Jacks this week. And it is Mary 395. So after I'm done with my Stacy Nash Pinkeep, this will be maybe one of the new starts. It's in the immediate radar anyway. But I'm gonna house this in my new bag, so I'll be making that. The next time you see me, I'll have a project bag made. But if you'd like to make this block, she's going to show us how to make it. I think that'll be so much fun. And then my other plan is I wanted to join in on the, here, let me get my glasses, the strawberry social, hashtag strawberry social, that Janet and Heather from Crafty Cottage Stitches here on Flosstube started, and they are making all things strawberry. And so I have an orphan block from Lori's Farm Girl Vintage book here, and it's the strawberry. Still can't even see with my glasses on. The strawberry. And here's mine. So I'm going to be turning that into a project bag. And it's going to house some projects that I'm going to hopefully start soon to stitch with the Strawberry Social hashtag. And I just got this week as well. I saw somebody show it, and it might have even been Janet, that showed this, so I had to hurry and purchase it because it's a blackbird. You gotta buy all the blackbirds, right? And this has a strawberry border in it. But I want to stitch every single thing in this book. It's a good one. And then my next one, I'm gonna have to take this out of the plastic, I think. This is by the Scarlett House, and I've had this in my stash for a very long time. I think ever since it came out at market a few years ago. But it is in the very beginning, and so it's a play on Adam and Eve samplers, and it's got the little strawberries on the tree. Love, love, love that. So I'm hoping to start that soon, but we'll see. I really need to get a few finishes under my belt before I decide I need to start more stuff. One thing I am for sure starting right away is next Wednesday, Yvette and my Yvette off of Instagram, she's Yvette Go, and Olivia from Pumpkin Hollow Quilts, they have been stitching Olga's stocking together every Wednesday, and I'm going to crash their Sal, and I'm going to start, now that I don't want to ruin their surprise, but they both have finished, and so now they're going to start the Reverend Gordon Squash Bottom. And I've got this housed in a pumpkin bag. So I'm going to start this. Next Wednesday is my surgery, and so that's when they're going to start. So I'm probably going to start on Tuesday just so that I can have, you know, start with them. But they are so kindly letting me crash their Sal. And this is the Reverend Gordon Squash Bottom. I have wanted to stitch this forever. I believe Kitten Stitcher, Teresa, she stitched it a few years ago, and ever since she stitched it, have just wanted to stitch it. I pulled a mystery linen out of my stash, and I've just been pulling threads this week. I don't even have them on a ring, they're just all discombobulated. But here are some of the threads that I'm thinking about using. I should have had these more organized on a ring for you, but just some overdyes. They're anywhere from Gentle Arts to Victoria Mottos. So those will be pretty. So I'm going to start that. So my first purchase that I'm really excited about is a referral from my good friend. I'm going to call her my unicorn fairy godmother. She has gifted me a few very out of print charts, and she's just been such a good friend. We've become great friends this year. But she messaged me a couple weeks ago and told me that I needed to get this for my farm wall. Well, of course I agree. It is Elizabeth Pritchard by R&R Reproductions, and I just love the barn and the, actually that's a house, and then the barn is over here and the sheep. It's just a great sampler. I don't know if you can get this any longer. I actually scored this off of eBay for just a few dollars. So if it's something that you would like to put on your radar, I would just put in Elizabeth Pritchard on eBay, but maybe R&R, which is Dying to Stitch, has these available. Somebody else told me that they found one at the Attic, which is in Arizona. So if you want to get this chart, be on the lookout in those places. I have been trying to collect a few R&R reproduction samplers. I recently watched a YouTube video on Donna Ray's Flosstube channel, Flannel Jammy Farms, and she did a interview with Pat Ryan. And the interview is all about samplers and the history of them, what certain things mean, the girls that stitched them, and it was just, Pat Ryan is a wealth of information about samplers. And so I just thoroughly enjoyed watching that, and it has put the bug in me to collect a few more of their samplers. I've got a couple in my stash, but I recommend going and watching that. It's Flannel Jammy Farms, Donna Ray, and she interviews Pat Ryan. So it's a great one if you haven't already watched it. And then my next my Happy Mail, this is from Frances, who is Guinea Hollow on Instagram. She messaged me after my last video, and I have said that I'm trying to collect these to stitch them all together. It's a series that is called For the Birds by Blackbird Designs. And so I really appreciated that. Thank you so much, Frances. I've got two, and I think there's 9 total, so I have 7 more to go. But these are really fun, and I'm anxious to get them started. I think that it would be fun to start it after anniversaries if the heart is done, to just have another Blackbird Designs sampler going. And then I got some fun mail from Fat Quarter Shop, and the first one is Stitchy Stars by Lori Holt of Being My Bonnet. I love that so much. Those colors just pop on that linen. Such a fun one. And you could do this in a different layout. If you didn't want it long and skinny, you could do it square. Or you could just stitch a couple. You know what would be really cute is a drum with these. That would be so much fun, and to put it like here on my patriotic wall. That's a good idea. And then the next one, and I love, love, love these, is Stitch Cards. And this is set H, and it has a horse and a heifer and a sheep and a piglet. They're so cute. So I'm excited about that. And then a friend that wants to remain nameless sent me this from Market, and I love it so much. Adam named the animals from Plum Street Samplers, and I most definitely want to stitch this. I love it so much. I think my favorite part of it is the giraffe that's like hanging out here, and you can see part of him, and he's like camouflaged in the leaves. That one is so fun, so thank you. My sweet friend Daylene, who is so grateful on Flosstube and Instagram, sent me the sweetest card, and that is a quilt that she actually made, and then she turned it into a postcard. And then she sent along a matching homemade cross for my Easter decor. I love, love, love it, and she is just so thoughtful, uplifting, and whenever I'm having a bad day, if I watch her videos, it turns my frown upside down. She's such a sweet and kind and thoughtful person. And then I just got yesterday in the mail this sweet card from her, and it made me cry. I really appreciate your friendship, Daylene, and thank you for being a part of our Flosstube community. We all need you, and you're just wonderful. So thank you for being you. I have one future plans I wanted to share with you and invite you to stitch along with, and that is the Flea Market Flowers Stitch Along that Fat Quarter Shop is hosting, and it is hashtag Flea Market Flowers Stitch Along, It is Lori Holt's Pattern Flea Market Flowers. Can you hear Gus snoring? Sorry. And this starts on June 2nd through July 7th, so you have plenty of time to get your supplies ready and start with us. And that is, I'm going to stitch mine with the called for DMC, and this is the called for linen that the front model was stitched on. It's so pretty on those, with those colors, it just pops. Sorry about the glare. So it would be so much fun if you wanted to join us. It's going to be easy. It's not going to be, we can all get that done in a month. That's not a lot of stitching. But even if you take longer than the month, that's no big deal either, right? I love, love, love this sampler. As soon as I saw it, I immediately knew I wanted to stitch it. So I have that housed in my bag from Denise with Goose. She's Goose Designs on Etsy and on Instagram and here in Flosstube. And so I have it in my bag from Denise that she so kindly sent. And I've got, she makes the most darling bags. They're very well made. And she sent along a thread keep with it. You can hold your floss right up here and your needle. I love these. And I've got it all ready with my new thread conditioner natural beeswax by Lori at Be My Bonnet. And let me show you the inside if you haven't seen them already. They're so cute. So it's got her little bee logo on there. And then when you open it up, it has the natural beeswax, but she's got her bee, I don't know if you can see that very well. There we go. Her bee logo on it, which is so darling. She has a great way that she uses these. Lori doesn't always necessarily beeswax her whole entire thread, but just the very end that gets pulled through your needle over and over and over again will sometimes get frayed a little bit. And so like the last, couple few inches, she'll run through the thread conditioner, and it really does help so that it doesn't, you can make more of your thread to last. So I'm really excited about that stitch along, and thank you so much, Denise, for my bag. I love, love, love it. Denise is always so kind and generous and sweet. I love her. We have a great Flosstube community, and I just am honored to be a part of it. I've made so many friends here, and I treasure it. I look up to all of you, and it's made 2020 and 2021 just that much better. It's just the best to be a part of this community, and I consider myself very honored and thankful. I just recently hit 8,000 subscribers, which blows my mind. I never thought that I would have 8,000 people that would care about what I have to say. But I started this as a journey to document my stitching so that, future generations can watch their great grandma Christy show her cross stitching, that they might have it on their wall one day, right? Sorry. It really does mean so much to me to be part of this community. And so I want to do a giveaway today, and I have a few people that have sponsored my giveaway. The first one is Fat Quarter Shop, and this is Home Sweet Home. And this is a stitch along that Fat Quarter Shop is doing. And I'm going to have this all in one big giveaway. The next piece is Snow Garden, which is the first series, or the first chart in the series Anniversaries of the Heart by Blackbird Designs. And this was so generously gifted by Chrissy, who is finally a farm girl. And then my next piece that goes with the giveaway is from my friend Sweet Sue Ellen, who is on Instagram. I've met Ellen, I've met Sue in person. We went to a Lori Holt quilting retreat a few years ago, and she met us all at a luncheon that we were having at Gardner Village. And she came and just spent an hour or two with us. And so I got to meet her a few years in person. She is so sweet and kind. She has been selling these bags. They're called Stitch and Go cases on her Instagram. And so she sent me one to share with one of you. And they are awesome. If you would like one of these, contact her. She has sells periodically on her Instagram, but she also, I believe, will take custom orders. But here is the inside. So it's got a zipper so that you can keep whatever on this side of your choosing, and then behind it you can put your chart as well, or your fabric back here and your chart here, and then all of these for your floss. I love this so much. It is so well made. So you can have your floss organized in each little pocket so they don't get twisted up. And she wraps her floss on bobbins. And if you don't keep your floss that way, she can also make them a different way. And so when she sent me the bag to give away, she also made me a bag, which I didn't know she was going to do. When it arrived, I was like, oh, that stinker. But I am so glad she did, because I love, love, love it. Here's the front. These are so well made. She does a binding and she stitches the binding down, and then it has a wrap to keep it closed while you're traveling and holding everything together. But if you want it this style, she can do that as well. So here's the pocket again for your chart. You put your fabric back there. There's also another pocket back there. Look at this darling fabric. Oh, I don't deserve this, but I just am so glad that she sent it to me. And so then on this side, because I don't put my floss on cards and wrap it, she did it this style. Oh, it was already unzipped, sorry. Where if you keep your floss on a ring like I do, then you can have it just a pocket and you can keep it in there safely so that it doesn't tangle. I love it so much. Thank you, Sue, and thanks for sending me one for a giveaway. I know that everyone's gonna be super excited about it. So she makes these and sells them on her Instagram, and I will link her below, and it is Sweet Sue Ellen on Instagram. So if you want to be involved in that giveaway, will you please tell me one of two things? First of all, I'd love you to be a subscriber and like the video. And then in your comment, tell me what your favorite Easter tradition is, or favorite memory. And if you don't celebrate Easter, just tell me your favorite spring memory or tradition that you have. My favorite spring Easter memory is back in 2007. We were on an Easter egg hunt in my dad's backyard, and Gus is chiming in, can you hear him? But we were doing an Easter egg hunt for all of my sister's kids and my husband's son in my dad's backyard, and my stepson, who was then 4, came up to me with an Easter egg in his hand. And we'd been collecting him, putting him in his basket and everything, but he brought me one from across the yard, and he said, "This Easter egg is for you." And his dad and I had been dating for 2 years, and I opened up the Easter egg and there was a diamond ring in it. And he asked me if I would marry his dad, and of course his dad was standing right there and then got down on one knee. But that is my favorite memory. Oh my goodness, sorry for blubbering. That came out of nowhere. I wasn't expecting that. Let me grab my anniversaries at the heart really quick. So that is why I made the block for Dylan. Oh goodness, now I'm not gonna be able to find it fast. Oh please, Okay, I'm sorry. Thank you. So I put Dylan in this March block that has an Easter bunny. Sometimes there's Easter in March. I don't remember that year if it was in March or April, but the Easter bunny and the saying of good luck and good health. I wish that for both of my children. So I wanted to dedicate that block to him. And also because on April 2nd, Dylan and his dad went and picked up Gus, our French bulldog, which looks like a bunny rabbit, and he brought it home to us the day after Easter. So this block just reminds me of Dylan in all the ways. So that's why I stitched that one for him instead of the July block, which is when his birthday is. All that to say, please tell me what your favorite Easter memory or spring memory is. And thank you so much, everyone. I hope that you have a lovely Easter and a lovely spring. It is 72 here today, which our average is usually in the 50s this time of year. And then tomorrow the forecast says that it's going to be 79. So I'm so excited. There will be lots of happy Easter egg hunters. So until next time, everyone, happy stitching. Bye-bye.